Okay, you guys know the drill by now. One down and then one up in the same, I guess, 5-minute spans. So today's initial review knife that we are going to be reviewing is the Benchmade Hunt Crooked River. The specs on it say it's a clip point blade. It's got aluminum bolsters, the axis lock. It's supposed to have gray G10 micarta scales, but what I ordered came in with blue scales. Not bad though. I'm not disappointed. It actually looks really good with the blue scales, but what was advertised was gray, which looked really cool in the first place. And what I got was blue. So I'm actually kind of excited about this one, mostly because this is a more sought after Benchmade knife. So the clone, which is what this is, it's the clone from Wish. I'm just trying to run through the collection of Wish knives that I bought before I start moving on to some other things, just so they're done and out of the way. So I bought this off of Wish. I'll show you the box here before I get into talking too much about it. So the box on this one actually came marked. And the ones that are better made, the ones that they put a lot more effort into when they were cloning them, they usually come with a properly, or as close to properly marked box. I mean, everything except for the shipping label from China looks fairly close to what you would see on an actual Benchmade knife. So again, these boxes are coming in. They're very well made. I don't know what goes into making a box like this well made, but there's a lot of things, a lot of knives that I have bought, a lot of tools that I have bought where the boxes are just trash. I mean, they fall to pieces opening them, but these are very sturdy, very well made, like the original Benchmade boxes for the authentic knives that I actually used to have before I sold them a long time ago, and wish I hadn't, because these videos could have been cool for comparisons, but I digress. So this is the Benchmade Hunt Crooked River, right? So you can see the blue scaling here. It was labeled gray online, which is fine. I actually really liked the blue, the way that came in. It's got supposedly aluminum bolsters, which are going to be, you know, like your spacers in here like this. And then, of course, the axis lock, right? So, great knife. The rest of the box comes with all the fun stuff that it normally does. It's got the Benchmade bag. It's got the axis clip tag. It's got the paperwork and everything. It's got the foam at the bottom. Very convincing if you don't know anything about knives. So back to the Crooked River. I was excited about this knife because this has been a Benchmade knife, an authentic one I wanted to buy for a long time. I don't want to pull the trigger on it while I'm spending all this money on all these other lesser known brands, not such high-end brands like Benchmade is. While I'm spending a lot of money on these, making these videos, I'm trying not to buy any more of these expensive standalone high-end name brand knives just for myself, but that'll come later on down the line. But I was excited about this. It looked really good online. The construction of it doesn't look as on point as the authentic Benchmades, but again, it's going to be a clone. But I'm still excited about it. So aesthetically, right, this knife looks good. I can't find anything that I dislike about it, even on the spaces where the scales aren't smoothed out together as cleanly as they can be. There's a bit of a gapping right here, and you could smooth that out into making it look like it was more level, more flush. But the work they did do on the G10 scales here is actually really good. So aesthetically, I'm incredibly pleased with this knife. I've been waiting to use this one for a while now. I mean, you got all the color matches here. You know, the sets for the screws. They're that aluminum orange. Your gap bracer here is HDPE plastic. Orange as well on that blue looks really nice with that gray tone here, and then looks like a stonewash blade. Aesthetically, this is a very pleasing knife, and the size of it, I mean, everybody that's watched my videos know I like a bigger knife because I got bigger, meaty hands. I like something that doesn't feel like I'm going to drop it, to slip through my fingers, cut me anywhere. That is a good grip. That is a good handle length. I'm incredibly satisfied with the size of this knife right out of the box. And I guess that could be a biased opinion because of my preference, but I mean, that's what these videos are, my opinion and preference on knives. So the weight of it. The weight of it is a good weight, right? So I like a knife that's not too heavy, but heavy enough that it feels like it's going to sit in the palm of my hand. It's not going to slip loose, flutter off with the wind, that kind of thing. This is a good weight to this knife. Very satisfying feel in my hand. Again, a high-end clone. A lot of expectation out of this, and it's going to take some work because that axis lock is engaged and that thing does not want to move, or it's disengaged. The axis lock is pulled back and disengaged, and that is stiff. You know, I'm gonna have to whip it very hard to get that out of there. So that's gonna take some work. Hopefully that loosens up over the next 3 weeks or so. I feel like 2 weeks is a little too short to know for sure. So about 3 weeks of use, I feel like I get a pretty good idea of how I like these knives. So functionality, you know, it needs a little work. It is sturdy though, sturdy like a rock. It's not going anywhere. Nothing's wiggling, nothing's jiggling. Just pulled it out of the box. So we'll see how that goes over the next few weeks. But as this stands, functionality wise, sharpness, I'll do that here in a second. Weight, size, aesthetics, and how well it's made. It's very, very well made. Functionality is a little stiff. The weight is great. The size of it is just where I want a knife to be for a folder. And aesthetically, very pleasing. It's going to look good sitting in my pocket. It's going to look good when I pull it out to use it. Most people who don't know anything really about knives are going to see this and think it's a fancy, expensive knife, which is great. All in all, what I paid for this was about $36 and some change, shipping, handling, taxes. The knife itself was $22.97. The shipping was $12, and the taxes were $1.95. I purchased this from Wish on April 4th of 2022, and it arrived April 25th of 2022. So just 21 days. That's one of the shorter deliveries that I've actually had from Wish. Usually they're about a month to a month and a half, and this was just about 21 days, which is great. Again, I bought it with the gray scales, but the blue scales came in. Not even mad about that, but if you did want the gray scales, just be weary because I didn't get what I bought, but what I got was something I was very satisfied with. So we'll test the blade right here with my handy dandy. God, I can never remember the names of these things when I'm going to do the video. Sticky note, my handy dandy sticky notes on hand to cut. So yeah, so it's not as sharp as I'd like it. Actually, right here feels like it could be a lot sharper. I feel like most of the cutting I just did on that paper was on the belly here. So I mean, I'm actually putting a little pressure on that, and I'm not getting any cuts on my finger. So this didn't come very sharp, and that's disappointing right out of the box. Because a lot of these, I mean, I can't even do that on them. I'll have a little cuts on my finger, but there's nothing. So, all right, sharpness isn't that great on this thing right out of the box. Gotta say it's a little deflating, but I'm gonna make the best of it because I still like this knife. And we'll run with it and see how it goes over the next 3 weeks. Because of the blade issue right now, it not being that sharp, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And that's kind of disappointing. But tune back in a few weeks, and we'll see if everything holds up, if I like it less or I like it more. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, folks.